Joining us this morning, we have Miss Pearl Williams. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning to you, Christal, and good morning, Ari. Good morning to
Good
you.
morning.
Good morning, Ms. Williams, and welcome. How are you this morning?
I am great, thanks. I am just here, at a request and an invitation. I'm just trying to clear the air with all this sort of nonsense that I heard taking place. I think it is time that our citizens understand that at no time at all, women empowerment, it's an organization of fraud, scam, and exploitation. So I'm here today to discuss this. And thank you so much for having me. Just let me just send my greetings to Mr. Williams and the entire staff of WEFM. I'm so grateful to be here this morning. Thank you. And Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year.
All right, thank you. So let's start with some context. Who is Pearl Williams?
Okay, so Pearl Williams, I am the daughter of Jerome Edwards from Chateaubelair and daughter of Miss Thelma Edwards from Spring Village. My entire family is from the Leeward side. Um, I I came here 40 years ago with my aunt estate, who at one time took me as her child, very, very early in my childhood. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago, and my upbringing, my education, and whatnot started in Trinidad and Tobago. And when I came here, obviously, my estate and whatnot, I came here and with my aunt invitation, knowing that my both parents are Vincentians, my aunt, my grandmother, my sisters and brother are born Vincentian. I think it's just myself and my sister who, when my mother migrated to Trinidad, had us in Trinidad and Tobago. So I think we share the same responsibility as Vincentian and otherwise. So with my training and my background, I started sharing those experiences from my school, my professionalism back in Trinidad and Tobago with the people in St. Vincent and Grenadines, and it went very well for many years. Yes.
Okay, and
To
you
be
are.
honest with you, and I guess I am, yes,
Go ahead, go
I
ahead, go ahead.
am a consultant, a mass band designer. I have been into um, mass for the last, let's say, the last 30 years in St. Vincent and Grenadines under the name Butex International. I am a pageant coach. I've had a modeling agency successfully in St. Vincent and Grenadines, the brand Miss Plus Size Universe and former Big and Beautiful I've had here for some 30, 40 years, having some of my delegates went on to international pageants and came back to St. Vincent winners. And this morning, I'm so pleased to let you know, Crystal and Ari, that I've had 17 in total delegates leaving St. Vincent, and they are all winners. And when we say winners, first round queens, we'd like to big up all the ladies who I've called last night to pick them up on the station because I know that they are listening. Yeah.
Okay, now you said Butex International. I knew that there was somewhere else I know you from. I just couldn't pinpoint. So it makes a lot of sense now. So let's go
Yes.
to the pageant and the promotional side of Ms. Pearl Williams. Tell about the beauty show.
Okay, so I've had, Miss Plus Size Universe is an international brand and a registered international brand. And it's an annual show that every year that this pageant, what we've done, we do have our pageant directors in different countries. And when we say different countries, we are talking Nigeria, South Africa, Brazil, Costa Rica. If you go online, the list is long. Botswana, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, all those countries. So what they usually do is to host the local leg of this competition and send the winners on. Now, sometimes you would have countries indicating that they don't have the budget, nor that they are faced with difficulty obtaining sponsorship. So sometimes they go to the young ladies and say, listen, we have this invitation. We cannot obtain sponsorship. However, if you have monies and you would like to get yourself organized, then you go to the show, right? Now we do have a criteria for the show. That's one. Number two, we have a lawyer that is drafting all our documentation in terms of the application forms, the MDA, the participation contract, and the winner's contract. This is the process, and this is the legal way in which you operate when it comes to pageantry. Now, I like to say something here. There's a difference between a community show that you put on, a community show making funds, raising funds, and that sort of thing. The girls win the competition, and when they finish, that's it. They get their trophies and their sash, and that's it. All right. Miss Plus Size Universe do have a very good structure in terms of our prices. We have decided to give our winner 10,000 US dollars that stretch out for the year. You must reign as a winner. If you refuse to sign that contract, legally we have no ties with you, because we are saying that not because you win a pageant, you go out with our brand, go to the bar, go to wherever you want, go to barbecues, go all about and take our brand to take it to a place that does not have standard, right? When you win this pageant, you have to reign in your community, changing, if you decide, okay, I am using the platform HIV/AIDS, we try to align ourselves with our partners, and we're talking about non-profitable organizations. And so we align our delegates with that, whether it's the hospital and what's not, being advocate, for that particular cause or brand. So it means that you go on the block or whatever it is, you talk to the girls, you set up conferences and that sort of thing. So you must reign in your respective community after winning the show. All right. So we use this brand of woman empowerment and also healthy lifestyle, so that when these women go out, they can advocate, they can help with the odds in society, to speak to our boys and little girls at school, on the block, and wherever, right? And this is what we use. So through the organization, while we speak about healthy lifestyle, there's also training and what's not. There are also appearances that these girls have to make their appearance. Now, what happened, Christal? Last year, and we are talking last year, we found ourselves in some serious difficulty. The one is we came out of COVID, and two is we came out of the volcano. The focus was on assisting these people who are out of their homes, giving like the little packages and what's not. However, we've had 4 postponement of the show. One is we could not find proper venue, we could not find sponsorship. Some of the girls were not ready, and I would not say some, 100% of the young ladies were not ready in their respective countries with sponsorship, right? So when the girls called and they did not have all the requirements, we decided, okay, let us give the girls time. We've had some kits, we've had most of the countries who not was not. When they did, they came to St. Vincent. We've had so much bad weather that we've had to make changes, just like what we did this year. The government program, they had an event at Russell Auditorium that was canceled, and everything on that day was canceled. When we realized what was happening, I called my lawyer, Mr. Bala, who was at the time a senator, and all the girls, my full committee, online on a group program, indicating that if I take you guys out to the stage with the rain, right, and any one of you slip and fall or get damaged or driving in any flood and something should go wrong, I am responsible. So we decided last year that we will not have the show and reintroduce or invite the girls back to St. Vincent. When we did so, some of the women found that they had the work and was not. Before we did that, we asked all the ladies online, are you in agreement to stay here a little longer so that we can go the Friday of that said week last year when the rain came? Some of the women, they are professional. We had Miss Guyana, who's a school teacher. We've had Miss Cuba being a doctor and what's not. These women were all professional women, right? And so they said Miss Sinkits had to return. She worked in the Ministry of Housing back in her country, so they had to return. I then reached out to, was it Inter-Caribbean Airlines, asking if they would partner with us and to, to talk to them about letting the girls fly back to St. Vincent. Now they said that they flew 2 girls, which is Guyana and Antigua, to the show, and they feel that at this time they already made an input and the partnership and whatnot, and they're very pleased with the ads. But unfortunately, due to what is happening, where they are not certain about flights, they cannot fly our delegates back. So I reached out to a few of the ladies and we indicated that. Now this year, we've had our women who, if they are listening, have to be very honest. I see people, especially women, are going out there acting like gangsters and all of that, cannot solve an issue. The ladies had tremendous, Christal, Miss Grenada had issues with her sponsorship. On the night of the show, the balance of $1,000 was paid on the night. Now I need to go through the process with you. All right. The girls pay 2,000 US dollars to get here to St. Vincent. And if you multiply, right, you are here for 5 days. You have 3 square meals at the hotel, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You also pay the accommodation for the ladies, which they have to pay their accommodation for 5 days. So do the maths. Now, when the girl came in, she did not have all her monies. I have all the voice note, which I forward to WEFM this morning, and so that you guys can hear. Because what happened when these girls came and created the craft, they went to my WhatsApp messages and start erasing all the stuff that they said. But you know what? I had these things sent to a different account in the event that I have to protect myself. Hence the reason why I send it to you. All right. We need to be truthful as young women. We are trying to restore what we lost and was not, and through this brand was not, we are on point with that. All right. We do have a conference in our competition where you have to speak about your ills and that you have experienced. And also if you have a platform, you speak, let's say obesity, you think that, our country is, really high or whatever, choose what platform, however, you have 5 minutes to do so. All right. Now we have had a planned program. One is, we sent a letter to the Prime Minister's office, who he never received. He told us that on the morning of our arrival, right? We send a letter to the Governor General, Susan Duggan, so that this woman can see that the empowerment of women in our country. We also send one to the Commissioner of Police. None of these names that are calling have ever said that they receive any letter from us. However, we were able to send the letter to show the copy. This was sent since in February. Now, I do have a secretary who prepare all those letters and whatnot, which week as I speak, I can send them to you. So we realize that the girls who was bitter last year, you understand me, started working with people right here in St. Vincent to say they will get us out. They will shut down Miss Williams and she will never have another show. But in all of this, I will say to you guys, while you carrying on with your nonsense, we already have 15 delegates being Miss Mexico, Switzerland, Costa Rica. All these people already confirmed for the show coming here. Right now, Christal, I started the show in Barbados, hoping that we can create a hype coming to St. Vincent. Our hotel rooms are empty. We as young people are looking for different brands and different, you brainstorm and come up with different things to make a meaningful contribution to our countries, to our country. Right. I also had the show Trinidad and Tobago and say I'm coming home. Right. And so this is what it is now. Coming home, the rooms themselves are occupied with our foreigners. It is an empowerment-driven program where we are making a contribution to our to our country, and we are looking at pageant tourism. And I feel that it is unfair for these people to come on board, taking information from the girls previously and come in here and say, okay, we'll cook a pot for Miss Williams. So all the information was removed. But you know what? I took those information and have those information, right? So you go through the process. One, when I invited Grenada to the show, that their winner, the organizer said to me, Mrs. Williams, I am pleased for this invitation, but the caliber of these women, I don't think that you want them in St. Vincent. These women will come and they will turn up the whole of St. Vincent upside down. And I think you should wait until next year when we have women with a different caliber so that they can participate in the show. Now, I will tell you, Miss Samantha Harris is a wonderful participant. And without doubt, I will not say to anybody at all that Samantha has ever been here and disrespect St. Vincent. That is not the case. Samantha was a wonderful girl. She came, she showed up on time for all her appearances. She was at the Prime Minister office. And before the show even began, I said, this caliber of woman looked like the winner, and my judges and whatnot said the same thing. This young lady had a manager who sat and made sure that everything is on point. So Grenada came here with a winning attitude. You understand me? Mannerism, everything you can think about, as well as Miss Trinidad and the other girls. All right. Miss Dominica came late because I reached out to the Prime Minister wife in Dominica, who said they did not have a budget for pageantry. However, they will try to make this young lady trip possible, which they did. She came on the night Christal of the show, which means that this lady had no appearance at all during the pageant. She just came on the night. All right. Now at Maya Hotel, I try my very best not to go out there creating a problem and making falsehood. At Maya Hotel, we have a contract which I put online for everybody to see that our bookings are from the 23rd to the 28th. It is unfortunate that my winner, Miss Samantha, was told that the end of the period of the accommodation is on the 27th. Christal, how this can be that on the 27th is the show and the girls have to leave on the 27th? Where are they sleeping? The young lady did not take the responsibility to say that I made an error, but however, I had a contract with this information, which I can show to you as I speak, right? So on the 28th, you demand my contestant stay at the hotel. If she does not pay that money, she cannot leave St. Vincent, which is wrong, right?
Okay. Can you
So
step in
I
some-
reached out to Samantha manager, and
Miss
Samantha
Williams?
manager
Miss
paid
Williams, Miss Williams.
Hello,
that
Miss
fund.
Williams. Maybe she can't hear me.
Yes, sorry,
Hi,
go
can
ahead.
you stick up in there? Because there are quite a bit of questions based on what you've said. First thing I want you to
Yes.
clarify for me. You said Mr. Ballo, who was at the time a
Yes.
senator, was a lawyer. What's his first name?
What's his name? They call him Pitbull.
Roshad Ballo. Lawyer.
Yeah, Roshad Bala.
He's a lawyer.
Yes.
The director of communications was your lawyer?
Well, right. Okay. The director of communications. Yes, my error. Thanks.
Well, he's now the director of communications, but I
Yes.
think he was a
So-
senator.
Yes, he was a senator.
So he was your lawyer.
Yes. No, he was
I
my
didn't
MC
know.
for the
Oh, you said he was your lawyer.
Yeah.
No,
So
my
he
lawyer
contacted
was present.
lawyer.
It is Miss Samantha Robinson was online with us,
Oh,
and
okay.
Mr. Bala
Okay.
as the senator. Yes.
Okay. So you're
Yes.
giving us a mouthful. I want to break it down quickly. Let's starting with last year.
Yeah, sure.
Last year, you said that
Yes.
you faced a lot of problems, which ultimately
Yes.
the show had to be postponed twice, and it ended up not happening at
Yes.
all. Now, Miss Eugenia
Right.
Bailey from Antigua, she conducted a few
Yes.
interviews, and I'm reading an article right there where she told
Right.
Loop News that all the girls had to pay a registration fee of US $1,000 to cover accommodation,
Yeah.
food, hair, makeup, and transportation,
Right.
and still had to find their way to St.
Yes.
Vincent to source sponsors for everything they needed. So, what was the issue
No,
with
that
the
is
funding
incorrect.
last year?
That is incorrect, sir. Incorrect. Let me indicate here. Mr. Gideon Brown, which is the hotel, was it in the resort? I think if Mr. Brown is online, he will tell us that he has his information, as well as Grenadine House Hotel, who told us that they were full and they could not accommodate us, right? As well as what's the name of that hotel out at Spring Resort, all right? And if you call them online right now, as we speak, they will tell you about the packages and what's not that they give to us. Some of the hotels will actually fill, and the package that we had for the hotel, they told us that, Ms. Williams, the length of time that you made this booking, and now you narrow down to a few contestants. Remember, you told us 15 to 25 countries are coming, right? Now, these girls could not come, most of them, because there was no sponsors, right? Now, in the event of that, what I had to do, the hotel said if they open their rooms, that the costs that they give us no longer will consider a package. Now with $1,000 and the hotel is telling us due to less contestants that they now open back the rooms to the normal price, we realize that the normal price that the girls, if they use that $1,000, it would not facilitate the accommodation and meals. And let me correct you on that figure. It is $2,000. It was not one. All right.
So last year it was $2,000 as well.
Yes, all the years,
Okay.
that is the registration fees.
Okay.
Yes.
So why is it that what is it, Nigeria? Why is it that she did not have to pay the registration fee?
Miss Nigeria is a medical student that live here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? And what she indicated that they have accommodation. What is the point that she's paying $2,000 to be in accommodation, eating with the girls, and she has accommodation for the school, not being able to obtain local sponsorship as a Nigerian? I need to correct that. All right.
This-
What she had to pay for, it is her transport and her meals and her makeup and backstage. What I've done, I personally, with my funds, paid for an evening gown. When our girl, Miss St. Vincent, no longer had an interest, I gave it to Miss Nigeria. I also got all Miss Nigeria stuff ready locally here because she did not know anybody in St. Vincent. So let me indicate that. Also, Miss St. Vincent was not able to obtain the 2,000 US dollars. What was embarrassing for us in St. Vincent is that my delegates came to the airport and our contestant was ill. And she said she don't know what happened. A matter of fact, she spent a whole day in the hospital, right? And when I was calling, I was in tears to know that our local girl. So Miss St. Vincent didn't show up at the airport to welcome our girls, nor that she had breakfast. Is one day she had breakfast. Um, there was no sponsorship, local sponsorship here for Miss SVG. And if she did, she never indicated that to us. All right. I would have gone out my way with transportation that we had to pay for by all the girls and myself to reach these girls at their convenience because they had a time that they must arrive and what's not. And people were just doing what they want and how they want and when they want. Right. Now, you are a contestant coming from different countries. You are in our transport on the vehicle and you talk about the hood that the show from last year, the woman didn't pay and she's a fraud and what's not, right? Now listen to this. I expected, and this is what I said in the Prime Minister's office. At the time when all of this went on, I said to the Mr. Bala, in the presence of the members of parliament, that Mr. Bala had a right, that when he heard this thing to represent us, knowing that he was online with all of us, knowing that he heard me asking the ladies, would you guys stay a little longer in St. Vincent? Because my intention was to go to the Prime Minister's office and indicate that, due to the weather, we are unable to move forward. These girls are here. How can we
Okay, I think
have some
you said
assistance,
that.
seeing that the
You
girls
said
are
that
already here?
already.
But that did not happen.
All right, let's
Mr.
take
Bala
a
heard everything, and our lawyer was present. All the contestants was present and agreed to return to St. Vincent. Now, Miss
Okay,
Piru
hello,
asked us
hello.
why we can't have
Yeah, it's
a
on, it's on. Now,
conversation.
Miss Williams, you
Hello.
need to stick up it there.
Hello.
Yes, all
Crystal has a
right.
question.
Yes.
Because you shared quite a bit, right? And
Yeah.
you said
Can
this
you,
before.
Crystal? I can hardly hear you.
Maybe it's my microphone that is low.
Okay.
Is it?
Hey, it's
Yes, I
regular
think it's
volume,
low.
it's same volume as
Very low.
mine.
Okay,
Yes,
so
it's very
maybe
low.
you could just watch the screen when I'm waving to try to get a question in.
Yes.
Persons are asking on the live, has Miss Harris been paid her prize monies?
Yes. So, okay, I like to answer this question. Now, we have decided, Crystal, I sent you a voice note. In the absence of Miss Samantha Miss Samantha Harris failing to sign her contract, what she indicated is that the contract says that is a winner's contract where you have to reign. It have things that you can and cannot do, right? So she failed to sign the contract. That's one. That's the winner's contract. Number two is we do have a scholarship which we asked Miss Robinson to sign, and this university is from United States, as well as her passport to send to Inter-Caribbean Airlines for her to have a complimentary flight. They refused to send the passport. They refused to send their information and what's not because they said that the contract must be adjusted. I indicated to them that this is a legal contract and we are not authorized to go in a capacity as a director to change what the lawyer put it is called fraud.
But
So
why
they
would
allowed
she
me.
refuse
Yeah.
to sign a
Sorry?
contract? Why would she
Yes.
refuse to sign a
The
contract?
reason why she refused, she indicated that the contract says on the night she would receive 2,000 US dollars. That didn't happen. So she feel that it is not right to sign a contract that indicating that. Now,
Do you
all
think
of
that
our
she's wrong?
all of our contestants ever
Miss
received.
Williams,
Yes.
if you were in Samantha's position, her
Mhm.
initial agreement was if I win on the night, I get my prize money. She did not
Yeah.
receive that. If you were in her position, what would you have done?
Well, I would have, call in Miss Williams or write a letter stating this is what it is. But before Samantha, um, before the show itself, Samantha knew. I'll say this to you: we had probably less than 100 to 50 people in our audience. That is one, right? We said to Samantha, our sponsor called us in and said, Miss Williams, due to the weather, we cannot come down. Now, it is not a case where the sponsor give us literal cash and we have to pass it on. The sponsors was handing over from their company the check so that they can show up as though they are promoting women and they are giving their prices, and that did not happen. So I reached out to Samantha. I said, Samantha, this is the situation. I have all of this in voice note. I would like to play for the public. Samantha agreed. The second week, Christal, I fell ill, could not speak. If you go online, I was not present on my morning program called Good Morning SVG for 1 week because I lost joint pain and was not. Vinlec will say to you that they had to call a vehicle to get me out of Vinlec. Just like all my muscles failed me on that day. And the workers at Vinlec made sure that they escort me to the vehicle and asked me, Ms. Williams, you okay? They give me a hot cup of tea. They give me something to get my consciousness back and everything back home. And even when I reach home, the staff at Vinlec called, Ms. Williams, you reach home? Because we were trying to call the taxi to ask them, because when you leave here, I thought you should go into the hospital. I immediately called Christal and everybody else to tell them that I was ill for 1 week.
All right, 1 second, Miss Williams.
Yes.
There are some folks on the live who are saying things that are contrary to what you are sharing with us.
Yes.
And I think we should get a word from the opposing side. And they're requesting to call in Patterson Nelsia. The number is 457-9997, 784 in front of that. So it's 784-457-9997, either via WhatsApp or landline. I'm not sure if Samantha wants to call in as well to share her side of the story. Let's get to it. All right.
Miss Williams.
Yes.
The article on ANN quotes that the first prize that Samantha should have received is the $175,000 valued scholarship and $20,000 in cash, and along with other benefits. There was also a quote for the second prize and third prize, but they said that this was changed at the last minute. What do you have to say in response to that?
Yes, okay. So my office in Trinidad and Tobago, Miss Debbie Jolie, who's listening this morning, we do have Miss Jolie. We were looking and doing a forensic. What we said, it is unfair for these girls to be coming from these countries like South Africa and what's not, and the airline ticket is more than the price monies. So while we were doing all of this, I asked Miss Jolie to construct a new approach to the pageant and what's not, and put some figures together and let us send it out to our sponsors, and also make a presentation where we can go to the Prime Minister's office and say, look, this is what we're doing. Miss Jolie, who is my secretary and my assistant, then send that information, and our communications director sent it to the girls in error. Now we have an apology letter for mixing up these documents, which I have here, sir. I would like to show it to you here online. And we apologize. And in the voice note that we sent to you stating that this is what it is. I'm not too sure if you can hear this voice note here, right? So it was agreed, even to Miss Trinidad and Tobago, who realized what's an error. Now, the $175,000 worth of scholarship, it's correct, right? And this is what we're using across the board. The Women of Mission International, based in New York, give us a sponsorship, a scholarship for women with their nursing and medical program, cosmetology, business, and what's not. That is the school, all right? So what we saw is that the girls from the last show are in contact with these girls in St. Vincent and created this storm. Why is it all the information which was sent that it was deleted on my phone, and I still have those messages? Okay. I would love to play these voice notes, because at no time, if Christal, if you remember, or anybody in the studio remember, Miss Big and Beautiful, for all the years we have taken Cahalia Beach, all our girls, James E.P. sister Diana Jackson, they all call in and said, Miss Williams, you blame you, because the caliber of woman that you pick up all on a sudden, that word hurt me, because when Samantha came here, we saw a straight professional. Not because Samantha wrote these things. That is fair for me to go out there to ill speaker. If that is their way of doing things, that is not mine. I want to be very honest and straightforward. That was not the case. All right, go ahead.
That Samantha is the one who wrote all of these things?
Right. Samantha, manager, with her direction, with her information, is who wrote those things. And we have all the voice notes here, ladies and gentlemen. If I can come up here to show you.
Right. Wait, one thing, because Miss Williams, you just said two separate things to me.
Yes.
You said that you sent an apology letter regarding the information sent out. You didn't tell me what the new price was, but then you followed it up saying the information
so
sent
if
out is
indicated,
correct.
if you listened before, or if you can recall, Mr. What's his name, Ari? Mr. Ari, I indicated that our price money is $10,000 stretched out for the year. And I would like to say something which I noticed in St. Vincent. We do have Miss St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Miss Caraval, and Miss SVG. In the past, after the pageant, there's a prize giving function 2 months or 3 months after the pageant. What did I violate that you can put that the show is a scam because you did not receive your money? Do you know that we had sent a new date when we got Mr. Maury Bullock and his families online? Let me say this to you. When I spoke to Samantha and I was sick and realized, Samantha, the contract is not signed, we yet does not have a confirmed venue. I reached out to Samantha and her manager begging them, please sign the contract. Miss Nigeria said, but I don't understand why she would not sign the contract, Miss Williams. Is it because that Samantha didn't sign the contract? It means that it applied to us. So if Samantha didn't sign, we can't get our prize given, So what I did, Christal, I asked the Grenadines to host my ladies so that they can go to all the Grenadine Island, and it should be a flight, accommodation, and meals so that they learn about our Grenadine Islands, right? We also asked for, if you call Diamond Girl.
Has been paid, Ms. Williams?
So just a minute, please, sir. We called Diamond Girl and all the other people to put their girls' packages together with a prize giving ceremony, which everybody have. Let me give you this. You need to see. You need to look at this. This was done. This was done. My prize giving. I don't know if you can see.
Can't see it. Shift it.
Yes. All right. The 24th, and all the girls know that this is the date of our prize giving.
What is it?
Right. We have communications from Miss Trinidad and Tobago and others, and we also have our prize giving function would be held at the Grenadines House Hotel on the 24th of February. So you can't go about letting the public know after I've already had all this conversation with you. Up to this point, you have never given me any information to take to the university, right? Miss Linda Jackson, right, is the chancellor of the school, and up to yesterday asked me, Miss Williams, where is the information? Why you refuse to send the information to the school that you had as a sponsor, asking for the information so that you can enroll in the school? Why you are not sending your information so that we can have a complimentary flight flying you to St. Vincent for your
Christal has a question, and so do I.
Yes. Sorry. First of all, can you center your camera so we can see?
Center the camera. Okay.
Yeah. So you can go shift it. No, the other way.
Yes. Right. Okay. Good. Thanks, Christal.
There are times when we are trying to ask questions. Yes. And we're not able to get through. I don't know if it's your volume is low. Maybe you need to put in a headphone so you can hear us, because we want to have a dialogue, right? We want to have a conversation, right?
Yes, of course.
I was asking if anyone has been paid, but I think you answered it by stating your prize giving ceremony is on the 24th.
Yes.
What I'm picking up, right, is
I'm still not in the center, Christal, for some reason. Are you seeing me in the center? I'm sorry.
No, shift it again.
Okay, let me flip this side or the other way.
No, the other way. No, the other way.
Okay, good. Right, you good there? Yes.
Yes. What I'm picking up, right, is a lot of having to call companies, hotels, guest houses last minute to try to rectify situations. Was money a problem in the beginning of this pageant?
Yes. We've had 2 major companies in St. Vincent who committed to sponsor this event and reach out to us indicating that business is so bad that they cannot continue with the commitment. Okay?
So
in that light, we are forced to work with the limited resources that we've had. And
Did
I must say thanks.
Know that? Did the girls know that?
They knew that. They knew that. When they came, even, and Christal, I'll say this to you, we've had a sponsor from the Levy product. The Chancellor of the University of the West Indies came here, right, in St. Vincent, stayed at Myers Hotel and was able to speak with the young ladies. And we spoke about the challenges, the limited resources and everything. And one of the contestants, which we also have on our voice note, said Miss Williams is a very strong woman. I said, I have to, because the public believe that whatever scam that I committed, that it is one that is a criminal of a criminal. And I have to change that. Now, Christal, I would like to ask you a question, right?
I have 2 questions before you get into that. You said earlier that Miss Nigeria asked you why didn't Samantha sign the contract. How did Miss Nigeria know this?
Okay, so Miss Nigeria reached out to me and she said, Miss Williams, after the Christmas and after the show, I have to be engaged in my class. I'm reaching out to you to ask you when would be our prize giving ceremony. I said, in the absence of Samantha signing the contract, I reached out to her. It's already the 15th of the month and Samantha have not signed any of our documents. And so that we will now host our event at a different date, because we are talking about the mid of February and Samantha haven't signed her contract. And I'll say this to you, Mr. Ari and Christal. At no time, even at Miss SVG, that I called Avia Charles yesterday, that you cannot just walk into this organization and ask the girls to participate in something without reaching out to the director, or if these girls under contract. Miss SVG has a contract. All the pageants, once you are a winner, Miss Universe have a contract. Everybody have their contract. And if you're saying, regardless to what, you are not signing the contract, we are not obligated under the law of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to pay you anything, right? And a matter of fact, you sign a non-disclosure arrangement, but you're still outside there, so you breach our contract. You call us a scam publicly. Why do you want to
you said the contract wasn't signed, so how did they breach the contract if the contract wasn't signed?
She broke the participation contract as well as our non-disclosure contract, which we have a copy of.
Isn't the participation contract up until the time of the show? And
yes,
the NDA,
as the winner, the clause, as the winner, as the clause, there's a clause as the winner, right? Giving you the continuation that is on the contract. So I know where
so nobody at the show would be paid. No, none of the ladies will be paid. Because if you're saying that you're saying that Miss Grenada broke a contract, Miss Nigeria broke a contract, who is going to be paid now?
Right. So when you stage a pageant, the first and second runner-up to that pageant, automatically, if you go back to Miss Universe, they say to you on the night, for some reason, if the winner cannot make it, or if there's anything, the second or third person comes into play with that crown, right? What I am saying to you, Mr. Ari, if you're working at WEFM, that is where you're working. I have to come back to this thing. Yes, at WEFM gave you a contract and you breach that contract, you feel that WEFM will still have you at your station.
Okay, in the interest of time, my question is, who will be paid? You're saying that Miss Samantha didn't
Miss Trinidad, who is our lifetime queen. We have Miss St. Vincent that I reached out to yesterday. Her chaperone said.
Okay, we have a call.
Hello, yeah, sure.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning. I'd like to ask a question, right? I would like to point out to Miss Williams.
Yes.
Miss Williams, the manager at Grenadine House, knows nothing about you having that prize giving ceremony. You are lying.
Excuse me?
You are a liar and you must stop it. This thing is going on for how many years?
You are the manager of Grenadine House Hotel? That's a lie. You lie because we have the contract here of Miss Grenadine's house. You need to stop.
Okay.
You understand me? We could not print. I spoke to Miss Isola Gittins, and you need to stop.
Yeah. We have 15 minutes left in the interview, right? And there's a lot of
stop. That's a lie. You need to stop.
There's a lot of information.
And you guys need to stop playing politics in this game. You understand me? You need to stop.
Hold a second, Miss Williams. Hold a second. Let's
you need to stop.
Let us hold on.
You're lying.
Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on a bit. All right. Let's slow down a bit. Get the emotions a little bit in control.
That's a lie. Christal, right? Would you permit me the opportunity to play Miss Isola or send you immediately Miss Isola's information that I have here, please? That's a lie. I don't know who put you online, lady, but that's a lie.
Who's Isola?
Yes. Did you call Grenadine's House Hotel?
I'm asking
Let us speak to her manager, please.
Miss Williams, you need
call
to
Grenadine's House Hotel.
Okay, Miss Williams, the way this works is that you're able to ask us questions, we're able to ask you questions. Christal is asking you, who is the name that you just called? Isola.
Isola. What's her name? Isola, Miss B. I know her as Isola.
What is her position?
Giddens. Miss Isola Giddens, yes.
What does she do?
Miss Isola is the operations and the general manager of Grenadine's House Hotel. The lady who called in, is she the manager of Grenadine House Hotel? It could not, because Miss Isola do not have this aggression. Mr. Ari, I will tell you this. Last year, Miss Isola refunded us our $2,000 when she realized what was happening at the Grenadine's House Hotel. We do have a receipt indicating that, because our show last year was held at the Grenadine's House Hotel that did not come off. This young lady who called in, that's a lie. You had Mr. Mason with the lights and all the persons. You had Mr. Bala and everybody who showed up. We had our judges from overseas. Everybody showed up at the Grenadine's House Hotel.
All
so,
right.
lady, I don't know what you're speaking
about.
So,
two questions.
Yes.
The historian Annan says that November 30th and December 15th were dates for the prize giving ceremony that never materialized. There's a new prize giving ceremony for February 24th.
Yes.
Why is it an all-inclusive event, and why is the tickets at $170?
Okay, so we are having a cocktail, right? Raising funds, because the following month, the other 3 months, we still have to come up with a different payment, because the entire year this girl has to be paid, right? So by raising those funds at $170 for our cocktail and was not offset, and prepare us for the second part of the payment. As I said, Mr. Ari, when you have a price of $10,000, it stretches for the year, just like Miss Universe, who do not receive all prices on the night. I don't know what is the concept or the belief of our people that $10,000 or whatever is the same thing that happened to our previous winner. You won the pageant. Samantha have not signed a contract and already making appearances without our knowledge in your country. Do you think that is right, sir?
Okay. We have some ads to run, so we have to wrap up in about 2 minutes.
Samantha, I'm not hearing your mic properly. Is there any way that you can raise it again, please? Thank you.
It's me problem, boy. Sounds like a me issue.
I'm hearing you now. Nice.
We have 2 minutes to wrap up. I think there is something else that's kind of jumping out at me. It is a bit confusing that you are running into a second year of financial difficulties, and that sponsors who committed initially backed out under the claim that business is not doing very well. I think that's something that you need to look at. You also said that you overstated your request to, was it the government? The letter to the Prime Minister with $175,000 worth scholarship and some finances, and that was, according to you, erroneously sent to.
Let us get that correct. Yes. First of all, Christal, we look at a situation where, in the absence of non-sponsorship, that our great receipts can offset our payments. Like any committee, including our Carnival Committee and other committees, that when they find themselves in difficulties, that's the next step. I don't think that our country or our women out there understand the tedious tasks that we go through as promoters or according to these people, licensed or organizations, what we go through. All right. I remember for this pageant, I was told that my pageant, as well as Miss SVG, who had their tickets for $70 and $50 and whatnot were having difficulty in sales, as well as I am, right? Most of the people who had their events and whatnot were having difficulty with their tickets sales, as well as sponsors. We face this in Carnival, we face it in everywhere. And so we say all the time that, you know, in the performing arts industry, right, we are faced with the difficulty. Now, in the Prime Minister's office or the government, right, you know what is happening. We have an economic crisis throughout the region. Where is our government getting monies to facilitate Miss Plus Size Universe when they have issues like people who don't have their homes and all of that to engage in such a program? And we understand that.
They're not
We understand that.
obligated.
Mr. Maury Bullock. Yes, Mr. Bullock.
Because we don't have a lot of time. If you
Yes.
experience a financial difficulty that was so grave in the
Yes.
beginning, first year,
Yes.
why do it again and go through this another time?
Yes, because, Christal, it was not fair for the contestants who would have already prepared coming for their country, and due to the weather system that we could not move forward. So we decided to facilitate the girls, whether we had a financial issue, yes or no, because these girls would have gone out, get their wardrobe done, get their airline ticket done.
You misinterpreted my question.
Yes.
1 year you had the pageant, you had issues. Why come back
Yes.
another year with a new
This
set?
is why I'm explaining to you. Yeah. The reason being, Christal, is that I feel, you know, it is unfair for anybody to travel to come to St. Vincent, and then they never had an opportunity and was not. So we decided, regardless if our limited resources or not, that we are going to make sure that the ladies have an opportunity to be at the show. Hence
opportunity comes at a cost, Ms. Williams, a cost that you are clearly stating you could not afford.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But we have to wrap up now because it's 8 minutes on and we have some adverts. We gotta go
ahead,
now.
Mr. Ari. You're asking a question before you leave?
Yeah,
Sorry.
before we leave, that you said a lot of things that are that sounds a bit contradictory. But what stood out to me most about the article is that when you were contacted, you said to speak to your lawyer, but your lawyer had no idea what you were talking about.
That is it. And so yesterday, I would like to say this to you. I took my phone to the police department to listen to the conversation my lawyer and I had, right? And I showed all the communications concerning that, right? I reached out to my lawyer on the Christmas day and she said, Pearl, would you appreciate, this is Christmas. I said, this is when the news reach out to me. And you would appreciate, this is a day that is a holiday. When we say holiday, but it's a holy day. And whatever report that you got, you call me on Christmas Day when I'm sharing with my family that you said you have allegations, right? Now, one of the things that you would notice, and what's not, that every time Miss Plus Size Universe send an invitation to the media houses, you are not present, but you are present to carry all the, according to these people, the melee, that is our people, when you're supposed to be going out there saying that, okay, St. Vincent.
Who are you talking about?
And News, Alberta News. You never came. We sent several news releases out and you never published them, but you published in the Bacchanal, to, you know, so that you go out. Are you a media house that carry million Bacchanal as opposed to, you know, the writings? Why you could not put on headline, St. Vincent the Grenadines is hosting an international pageant, Miss Plus Size Universe and what's not. I reached out, asked for all of this. You know, the girl said, Miss Williams, what we find strange is that you said this is live coverage. We did not see anything. I said, it is our 40th anniversary. I've gone to VC3. I went to Mr. Denny asking for live coverage. These people already have their cameras on our 40th anniversary and could not facilitate us. So there is a difference between participation and investment. If you come to my show as a participant, why are you engaged in my administration process? To show me after 40 years that I'm, according to these people, uneducated, that is one. And number two, to say that we don't know what we are doing. I don't think as two young people, Christal would have been young at school when I was staging all these pageants. And you know what? When these people reach out to me and say, Miss Williams, you know, right after the program and right after, they would call and say, Miss Williams, these people are aware of the many years you are in this pageant. Why now?
Miss Williams, what was the turnout of the show?
Just a 50
the show turnout, and I will say this to you, right? We've had We've had,
yeah, she said under 100 people, like
no,
between
Miss
50 and
Williams, are
100
you
people.
familiar
under
with
100
the
people. You
voice
know
note
why?
going
Because
around
of the
someone who
weather.
alleged?
The
Miss
weather.
Williams, Miss
Yeah,
Williams,
Yeah.
just want to end
I
on.
allowed you to talk for like an hour. I just have a few questions I'm trying to get out the way
Yes, okay,
before we
please.
run the ad. Are you
Yes.
familiar with a voice note that's going around with someone who claims to be a sound engineer that claims that there was 15 to 20 people at this show? And you're also saying that there was no news coverage. Those are two separate questions. Were there,
Correct.
what was the turnout? And was there any news coverage of this show?
Yes, I'd like to answer that question. Now, as you appreciate that on that night of the 24th with the rain, I was in the company of many people, right? And at the venue that we were supposed to stage the show, which is Porter Estate, all the persons showed up at Porter's Estate in a figure of you can be about 100 and more people. That the people in that area told us the parking and all of that, that people went to that venue. And at the last minute, due to the rain, my husband changed that venue. Then some people said, Miss Williams, you're brave. Nobody going by Murray Bullock Place. We are not supporters of that. We are not going to Maurice Bullock Place. So find out from the people, please, that we had a big turnout. Let me say this to you. Samantha Harris had her friends from Grenada.
What was the turnout? What was the turnout?
And they all showed up, right? And I said the turnout, right, based on the rain and whatnot, it was very small.
Okay, so approximate.
Yes.
Like 25 people?
I can say about 50 people. 50.
Okay.
All right, so
yes.
we're going to wrap up. Oh, sorry, you had another question. Go ahead,
I just wondered if there was media coverage.
No, after we sent all the information to the media and whatnot, right?
So
they
no.
told us
So
that
no.
because listen, Mr. Ari asked a question. Allow me to answer, please. They told us, including VC3, that they had engagement for the celebration of the independence, and therefore there were not anybody available to turn out. However, I must send all the information to the news, which I did, and they would publish it. All right. Why ANN did not?
No, that's not the question, Miss Williams. Miss Williams, Ari asked a very simple question. Was anybody there from the media? All you have to say is yes or no. We don't want to know who at this point.
Yes. We had Mr. Val Matthias present.
Val Matthias is Vincentia?
Yes, Val Matthias, who used to
work
with
so you got media attention. Okay.
All right, so we have to wrap up, right? There are some people that are saying on the live that some of the things that you're saying are not factual. Miss Harris was listening in as well. I think Miss Nigeria was listening in.
Yes.
You said quite a bit, and I hope that all the issues are resolved.
I would love it too.
And the ladies
Crystal,
can get
before
redress.
I leave, Crystal, can I say something?
You got a couple seconds, actually.
The quality and the intention of empowerment for after all these years is the worst that I've ever experienced in my history of staging the show. I would like to thank Samantha, also Miss Nigeria, right, for the exposure, because they allow me the opportunity for more people to participate in the show after they would have had letters and voice note and communications. All right. I'd like to thank the both of you and to say to Miss Samantha, it is against my heart, given all the preparation and everything else to come to the decision of dethroning my queen. You cannot say that our pageant, it's a scam, but you are carrying our scam name on the sash. It doesn't make sense. All right. It hurt my heart to see such a wonderful person in personality and otherwise could turn to this. It hurt my heart. But this is what I have to do, because I will not no longer hurt you by giving you a fraudulent name, Miss Plus Size Universe, to carry on your sash. You cannot call us a fraud and expect us to pay you your prize monies when we are fraud. A fraud is people who would have gone out and tricked the girls and didn't pay them. You understand me? But you refuse to sign our contract and everything else. All right.
Okay.
So I am seeking legal advice, as I am saying, because if you are saying on headline news that it is a scam, how do you expect a scam to wear our sash calling us a scam? It's breach of contract.
Did the article on ANN state who?
Yes.
Did they say a contestant's name in it?
Yes.
Said XYZ?
Miss Samantha never said in the article that
Samantha's name.
The headline news is a scam. Why would you want to carry a scam?
No, it says accused.
We love that girl from the day that we saw her on to now, and still I still have
from what I'm guessing, Miss Williams, she's not the only person who has a problem, but we have to.
Yeah. They said all they got was the trophies and crown, and they never got the money, and it has them feeling like they're being scammed. No, when you decide not to pay them,
No, my dear,
then
listen
you're
to me.
confirming
That
that.
can be, Mr. Ariel. Mr. Ariel, yeah, you are going
okay.
on and on. We have decided right
I am
after the
going
show
on
to have
and
a
on.
prize giving function, which all right.
Miss Williams, hold a second,
Miss
please.
Williams,
Right.
keep respectful, please.
Yeah.
Ari, Miss Williams.
I am
It is 9
respectful.
o'clock. It is
I
9
am.
o'clock. It is 9 o'clock, and we have to wrap up. All right.
Yes, Christal, I
We have
appreciate
both
that.
said quite a lot. I want to thank you for
Yes.
your time.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for your attempts at trying to clear up the situation. I would love
Yes.
to hear from Samantha's side and maybe one or two other contestants. So if you're listening and you want to chime in on this one, you can let us know. Hit us
I
up
will
on
not. I
WhatsApp.
don't have the time. I'm sorry, but I am so
No, I was
happy
speaking
that
to the other
yes.
contestants. I was speaking to the other
Yes.
contestants, right? 4579997 784-4579997 is the WhatsApp number to let us know
Yeah.
your side of the story. Speaking to the contestants. Thank you so much. And you have a wonderful day. We got to go to some ads now.
Same to you. Yes, same to you. Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thank you for joining us.
Okay,
The
you're
time
welcome,
is
sir.
now 9:01 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.